Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's post-match review for the game between Manchester City and Borussia Mönchengladbach at the Puskás Arena in Budapest. City cruised to a really comfortable and dominant victory with a dominant display, and it finished off 2-0 on the night and 4-0 on aggregate. And obviously tonight I'm joined by Chris. How are you doing, mate?
I'm very happy. How are you?
As you said, mate, very happy, comfortable win, no injury worries, no real concerns. Got the job done, very comfortable, and yeah, sound as a pound, mate, sound as a pound. So just while a few of you guys are getting in the comments and saying hello, I'll just go through tonight's lineup, Pep's lineup that he decided to go with tonight. And it started with Eddie in goal, Walker at right back, Delicious, Stones and Diaz in the middle, Cancelo as the left back. The three in midfield was Rodri with Gundo and Bernardo. And the front three of Foden, KDB as a false nine, and Morris on the right. So now obviously get into lineups. Let's see who's on and get into some hellos. We got Kex on saying, "Oh, Kevin De Bruyne, yep, big man. He had a really good performance coming back from a bit of a shaky performance the other night." Vinny's on, "Hello, mate." He said, "What a goal from Kevin De Bruyne." Yeah, it certainly was. It certainly was. Simon's on, "Hello, mate." He goes, "Man City, yeah." Morris was another one who could have done better with some of his opportunities, but I think he had a good game as well. We'll get into that a bit later. Sir Alan's in the comments. "Easy win. Hello, mate. Hope you're doing well." Are we starting soon? We're starting right now, John. I know that was a comment from a little bit earlier. Let's see who else is online for some hellos. We've got Adam on saying, "Hello, guys. Good win tonight." Charlie's on. He says, "Hi, guys. Solid performance from the boys in blue once again." Yeah, it most certainly was. It was a controlled performance at that. ANTG's on, "Hello, mate. If we draw Porto, I will not respect. We will not be." Words are very difficult, lads. If we draw Porto, we will not be respected in the Champions League. Yeah, people will just say about draws, won't they? But that's just by the by. Charlie's to getting his hellos into Krish, hashtag haircuts. Yeah, I really badly need a haircut, mate. But yeah, we'll get it at some point. Ronnie Beaver's on, "Hello, mate." He says, "Evening, Kurt and Chris." Hello, mate. Hope you're doing well. Let's see if I missed anybody else. Tom Betts is on, "Hello, mate." He goes, "Mahrez was the Mahrez of old tonight. Kept shooting and kept missing. Apart from that, cannot fault his performance." Yeah, well, things aren't always the same forever, are they? They change, and he was back to not having his shooting boots on. Charlie thinks that's pretty funny. Addy's on, "Hello, mate. Haven't seen you for a little while." Says, "Big win." Yeah, it was a big win. Cafe de Casuals on says, "Brilliant. Just wish Morris would pass more greedy." Yeah, sometimes we celebrate your selfishness when he puts it in the back of the net, but when he misses multiple opportunities, then you have the right to say, "Come on, mate, why don't you stick it on the other side?" He goes, Kex O'Neill saying, let's let the dippers in the next round and slap them. Yeah, I would really like to not have an English team in the Champions League. Never really ends well for us, to be honest with you, mate. Charlie saying, "We always get English teams in the quarterfinal recently." Yeah, it's been happening a lot, doesn't it? All the times we go out. And Pardo Oaks is on, "Hello, mate." He says, "There's something seriously up with Sterling." I don't think there is. I think he's just been rested, and we're all just so shocked because normally he's never ever rested. He's always playing, so people get it's a bit of a different situation than it was normally. But I'll just get through. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go down sort of like the match rundown for the first half, and then we'll get into mine and Chris's thoughts on the first half. The first half started with just complete control from City, absolute domination in possession, and then a couple minutes in, at 6 minutes, we saw a really lovely over the top through ball from Cancelo to Foden, who flicks it at the goalie. Foden doesn't really get great contact. I think if he gets better contact with it, he probably scores there. And it was as we always say with City, if we start bright and early, you know it's going to be a good game, and we definitely did. I thought early on KDB was picking up some really nice pockets of space as the false nine, dropping into positions, rotating out, and obviously a little while later we saw that come to fruition when on the right hand side Morris had the ball, plays a 1-2 with Rodri. Mahrez has a little bit of tenacity to keep hold of the ball when it looks like he could be losing it. Just shifts it, nice little slide ball to KDB across from him, who's outside the box and just hits an absolutely great goal for me. It was a really wonderful strike, and you could really tell KDB was on it from the first minute of the game. Then we saw a half chance from Gladbach. Nothing really came of it. It was just where Cancelo got back, tracked the ball, tried to meg someone in his own half, loses the ball, and Stindl gets a half chance. But it was a very comfortable save for Eddie. First one of the night for him. And then obviously 17 minutes later, we see the second goal. The second goal. Sorry, with Foden just receives the ball on the half turn and deep in his at the edge of the halfway line, and he just absolutely turned and then just showed great tenacity to run forward, drove with the ball, looked for a pass, saw Gundogan, did a lovely no-look pass. Gundogan, great first touch, and tucks it home really comfortably for 2-0 on the night. 26 minutes, Morris gets a ball on the right-hand side. He floats a really nice ball over the top for me, who go up. Gundogan, who makes a great run, but once again, similar with the Foden situation, he never really connected with the ball. And then at 34 minutes, we saw a really, really interesting thing. We got a free kick from about 34 meters out. It looked like a union meeting there about who was going to get it. But KDB, with the armband on, pushed everyone aside, said, "I'm taking this one." Does a sort of David Luiz-esque free kick, really high up and lots of dip. And it was, I think, a really good save by the keeper. And then there wasn't really much for the rest of the first half in terms of action. It sort of petered out. But I was really, really happy with the first half display and the way we were able to just from the first minute start press the game and really, really, really put our emphasis on the game and really impose ourselves. I don't know if there was any things I missed or any particular things you want to talk about in the first half that you were really impressed with, Chris.
No, I just thought that was more like the City that we expected. I think we've had a little bit of a drop-off in recent weeks. It could be the amount of changes we've made. I think there's a case to be made that could be City's strongest 11 at the minute. So, yeah, as in form as well. Maybe you may have to argue maybe Kevin, maybe not in that sense. But tonight I think we saw Kevin getting back to his best. And, he had a really good first half. I thought it was like watching... with the four up front pressing as hard as they were, it was like watching them like four Carlos Tevez's up there. They were really proper.
Tenacity is the word I used quite a lot in my description. I thought it was very apt for tonight's performance. Yeah,
I thought the first half was really good, Kurt. I thought that was the City that you'd expect to see, when we're playing at our best. And maybe a little bit, we could have had one or two more in that first half, but that's just being greedy. Thought it was a really good performance first half.
Yeah, and just on obviously the two goals themselves, or anything you want to mention. Obviously, the first one was just a brilliant strike from Kevin De Bruyne, and the second one was just Foden showing what he can do when he comes centrally. Yeah,
I thought it was a great assist by Riyad for Kevin. Better get that in there, eh? Just slammed it. I mean, you couldn't hit a ball any better than that. The second goal I thought was even better. Personally, we had that, the control of the ball, and I think Phil passed it back to Stonesy or to Ruben. A couple of passes before that, and you could see him looking over his shoulder. And he wanted to do that.
The intent,
and then he picks it up again, has the space, runs into it, and plays a wonderful ball to Gundo. But he still had a lot to do, to be fair to Gundogan. Took a lovely pass and, and stuck it in the back of the net. I thought it was a really, really nice goal, that second one.
Yeah. Hello, Andy. Obviously, I didn't want to interrupt Chris. So how you doing, mate?
I don't want to interrupt him. You all right, guys?
Yeah, yes, I'm very well.
Very good. What a win. 2-0. Happy days. I'm just watching the no pass.
It was beautiful.
The no-look pass from Foden to Gundogan. Just watching it again here.
Yeah, just getting you catched up with what you missed. We just literally have just gone through the first half action and we're just talking about the first half now. So you haven't missed much, mate.
Okay.
Yeah, I was primarily discussing obviously the two goals we scored and the positions that Kevin De Bruyne was picking up in spaces early, and I just thought he was fantastic. Obviously, you're just talking about the no-look pass from Foden, but the strike from Kevin De Bruyne to score the first one, I thought was just a beautiful strike.
Phenomenal. I thought should he not be dropped?
I was on the sell him list, right? That's what I thought. He was on the scrap heap.
They're all on the scrap heap, mate. They're all on the scrap heap.
He was absolutely brilliant tonight. Absolutely superb. What a finish! I mean, I watched Messi's finish last night, which was yet another unbelievable finish from Messi. And then you look at what KDB did tonight. There's not many players can strike a ball like that into the top corner. Absolutely superb.
Yeah, well, KDB's performance the whole game, but especially in the first half, was just complete, is probably the best word to use it. Off the ball, on the ball, in
He's
space,
back.
in transition, everything.
He's back.
Yeah, most certainly was. And I thought, I thought going into the second half, my feelings going into the second half were, don't get any injuries, don't pick up any silly red cards, get the job done. Maybe get bring some more boys on off the bench, get this wrapped up and get worried about Everton before we go on that international break. And obviously leading into the second half, it was quite an eventful first sort of 5 or 10 minutes, 15 minutes of the half, and it sort of petered out towards the second back of it. At 48 minutes, we saw Morez on the right had the ball. Gets a shot off, but it was probably a theme of the night that Morez was getting into positions was excellent, and his action to get into the space was really good. But just his final shot was just didn't. He left his shooting boots back in Manchester. It was very frustrating to see. And sometimes when you miss a couple, you think it's not my day. Maybe pass it to someone else, and that was something that he probably lacked tonight, which was probably one of the valid criticisms you can give him from tonight's game. Gladbach had we had a little bit of a scare when Gladbach had a corner. I think it was about 56 minutes. Ball comes in, it goes slightly over. Stones just can't reach it. Bounces off a Gladbach player. Player looks to get a toe. Diaz tried to block it, and the ref gives it as a foul. To be honest with you, I don't think it was a foul at all for me. But by that was probably the only moment in the game really where I felt that Gladbach had any sort of threat, when it was a little bit of a mix up in the box there. But other than that, I thought they didn't really offer too much. I think they had a couple shots and that was it. But I never really felt threatened by them. And then we go into the substitutes. I think it was 62 minutes was the first set of two substitutions, which was Zinni and Dino on for Cancelo, and Rodri just straight swaps, given Cancelo had the yellow card. No need to risk him, get him off the pitch. Very smart decision for me. And then we had a really, really interesting bit by Fernandinho where he spam with the ball and just died. It was box to box Fernandinho of old, and it was he curled a lovely ball in, which Mahrez decided he didn't particularly want to pass tonight and took the shot, saved by the keeper, pretty comfortable save. I obviously I don't know what your guys' thoughts were on that sort of first portion before we sort of saw the game peter out, where it was mostly action. Starting with you, Andy, because I thought we had some really good phases of play in that beginning of the second half, and probably unlucky not to score.
I thought we were very, very comfortable throughout the whole game. I wrote some notes down earlier. One was what a finish from KDB. I thought Foden was quiet until the no-look pass to Gundogan. I thought Foden was a little bit sort of so-so in the game. But what a pass to Gundogan. Great finish. I thought Edison tonight was superb. His passing out. The guy is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. It was just a comfortable 2-0 win. Could have been more. I don't think they really had anything to trouble us tonight. I kept saying to my lads tonight, we were watching it, and I kept saying, look at this triangular football. And you could just see it was just like the pass. I thought they were phenomenal passing-wise. Fernandinho came on, played that ball. Genius. Absolute genius for me. But Kevin De Bruyne is back. For all you naysayers out there, Kevin De Bruyne, there you go. That's why he's in the Man City team. For everyone else that thought Bernardo and Gundogan should play ahead of him, and I thought Bernardo did well tonight. But Kevin De Bruyne, what a player.
And that leads us quite nicely into Chris's thoughts on that sort of more eventful part of the second half with more of the talking points in it. What were your thoughts on Fernandinho, Kevin De Bruyne, and on the other boys in that portion of the game?
Yeah, I thought there was a lot of good performances tonight. I think the second half I thought was a lot more comfortable. I thought we slowed it down a bit. Like Andy just said, the passing was exquisite tonight. I thought there's some, like I say, some really good. I thought Gundogan had a great game. Really, I thought Riyad and Phil did have quietish games, but they seem to be attacking through the centre a lot tonight rather than going out on the wings. But there was, I wouldn't say.
Do you think that was a pet tactic? Because I agree with you. I thought Foden and Mahrez tonight were pretty quiet. Mahrez was all right. Foden was okay. But do you think that was maybe a pet tactic because of what happened in the first leg? And he thought, we'll go down the middle and we'll use Kevin De Bruyne more? Because Kevin seemed to have so much time on the ball, and that triangular football, I thought was superb. Absolutely brilliant.
I think Kevin just had license to roam tonight, didn't he? He could come and pick it deep. He could, go anywhere, really. And he wanted the ball all night as well. And it's quite hard not to give it to him. I think there was one moment I can't believe he didn't pass it to him, and he had a right go at him for not passing it to him. So, he was leading. He was leading the team tonight. I thought I'd say like Kevin's. You know what I think about Kevin? I think he's a brilliant player, and this is why we've had a few performances which haven't been the greatest for him as he works his way back into the team. But now he's back, and playing like this, we should romp the league at this point. I don't know. I think Riyad had one of those games where. He got into great positions. He worked really hard. He got the ball. He just didn't have his shooting boots on, and there was.
I thought he was okay tonight. I must admit, and I'm a you know what I'm like about Matt. Yeah. And I said it on the Friday Night Social. I thought he's been brilliant 3-4 games in a run, but he needs to do that consistently. And I said, we're just waiting for that. When he goes back to his usual. And tonight, I thought he went back to his usual, because some of the positions he got in, you're thinking, square the ball. He could have squared the ball 2 or 3 times tonight, and it would have been an edge of shooting opportunity. But I'm not going to be too hard on him, because I do think, like other players who's been brilliant in the last few games, I didn't think he had his best game, but I thought he did okay. I think he did okay. So I'm not going to go overboard with him. He's played better. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I think Mohamed probably just sums it up. He could have scored though. That's the thing. He put him
straight in the keeper.
The thing about it is you can look at this a positive and a negative, right? It's the positive is getting into the positions where he's able to create these chances for himself or get the chances from other people around him to be creative.
How many times do you have the comments on this channel, never mind Twitter and everything else, about Raheem Sterling?
Yeah, but that's exactly what I was just about to say.
Shit finisher.
That's where it comes to the negative side is when you have all those opportunities and you don't take any of them, you've got to be held accountable, because when you take the shot, you are taking responsibility, especially when there is other options for a pass on, which is where the criticism comes. No one's going to take criticism at Morris if he's got no pass on and he takes a shot straight at the goal. You go, whatever, what was he going to do? He had nothing on. But when he's got 2 players to the left of him in complete space and he refuses to pass them, then you can level criticism. It's all about being balanced. And I think you're very, very, very fair in the points. And I think both things can be true at the same time. He can be credited for his ability to get into those spaces while at the same time being criticized for what he did with the final end product of it, which is basically where I stand with Morris tonight. But I will say one thing. Did you see him challenge for a header? He didn't win the header. But I saw him challenge for a header, mate. He challenged for it, but it was a proper. You can't. No one can tell me that wasn't a challenge. And
he was.
But yeah. I thought one thing that I thought negative about Morris was he was trying to track back on the right. I think it was Thuram, and Thuram just bullied him off the ball, and that created a chance for them. And it was a bit of a dicey moment, but it never really came to anything. But that was also not good, because when you're tracking back, if you're not going to do it, let someone else do it who's going to get the job done in that area of the pitch. I don't mind when it's high and wide, but when you're in the center of the pitch like that, you've got to be more tenacious in getting the job done. Sorry if I was cutting you off. If you want to make a point there, Chris.
Only that if we draw Bayern Munich in the next round, you've got to make better decisions than that. Riyadh's got to make better decisions than that.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to have the space that Gladbach gave us.
That's the point I think a lot of people are making.
And others.
Yeah, it's not just about Morris. It's
just
about
Morris.
getting those opportunities. Yeah. We're just using Morris as the example here, just for people who
and others.
Specifically on Morris.
Although I wouldn't say Gladbach offered much in up front, I thought they didn't stop playing. They tried. They worked really hard. You can't say they basically threw the towel in. They tried to the 90th minute. They just weren't good enough. And another thing I'd like to say as well, I thought the referee was excellent.
I was going to make comments. I'll bring it up now, just since you brought it up. I wanted to say Sergei Karasev, if I pronounced your name correctly. I hope I have, mate. I think you had an absolutely brilliant game, a proper good game of football. If young refs are ever, if there's any young refs, I'm sure no young refs are watching this, but if there are any, that's how you manage a game of football. And I use the word manage a game of football because that's what he did. He managed the whole game. Apart from a dodgy call from the lino where they should have, it was onside, very close where they shouldn't. And I think the free kick that Diaz got given was an incorrect decision. But apart from those two, and one of them was nothing to do with him, absolutely fantastic. Too much criticism. Let's get the praise in, because I don't know if the boys in the comments agree, but all three of us seem to be in the same thing. You circled it, written down, clear as day. Superb.
Yeah, they were my notes.
Yeah, I've got mine on my PC. I've got mine on PC, and they're right next to me. Mate.
There you go.
The flow and management of the game, allowing the game to continue. It's just
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know
It just makes a huge difference. Mohammed asks whether Furness was a yellow card. Well, he kicked the ball away with a whistle blown.
I believe
it's a stupid yellow, isn't it? But yes, it is a yellow card. But he just let the game flow. There was a few challenges that were a bit tastier than you normally get, but nothing wrong with them whatsoever. And it just made for a great game. Yeah, and I think it had a lot to do with it.
Cafe de Casual just, I think, encapsulates all our points. It was just refreshing change with the ref. Yeah, it really was.
I agree. Absolutely.
It was a goal kick. Foul on Diaz. I thought it was called a foul on Diaz. My mistake if it wasn't called a foul on Diaz, but I believe it was called a foul on Diaz, Charlie.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, I thought, obviously, as we're speaking about Fernandinho earlier, I do want to mention someone was talking about him kicking the ball away. Yeah. You should get yellows for that. You should get yellows for that.
Especially in Europe.
You should.
How finicky the refs are in Europe.
They'll give
it. He shouldn't have done it. And in the Premier League, he might have got away with it. But in the Champions League, you're not going to get away with that.
I completely agree. I
thought it was brilliant. I thought the ref was superb tonight. Absolutely superb. And it just goes to show how crap our refs are in the
Premier
League. It's the best referee we've had all season.
Yeah, absolutely. Just highlights how absolutely inept some of our refs are in the Premier League.
Yeah. And moving on to sort of the back end of the second half, where it sort of petered out quite a bit. We had our four substitutes coming on. Obviously, I spoke about the two previous. Gundo comes on for Sterling, and Laporte comes on for Diaz. So it was more jigging around, and then we saw Sergio come on 5 minutes later for Bernardo, which allowed Foden, to have 15-20 minutes in the center of midfield in a game we were very comfortable in, just to get a little bit more experience in that role, a little bit more time. I thought Sergio looked quite lively when he came on. If Sterling didn't trip over himself, he might have got an opportunity, but these things happen. Sterling had a good laugh about it afterwards, which I thought was quite funny. But these things happened, and the game sort of petered out. The only real sort of chance towards the end of the game, 88 minutes. KDB megging a player and just doing the guy dirty and just looking like an animal when he was running with the ball. plays it to Morris, which I think he should have played it to the left personally, given what Morris was doing in the game. I would have used a bit of a smarts there and gone, he's going to take the shot and probably miss. I'm going to give it to the left side, but gives it to Morris, and Morris cuts in, takes his shot. Nothing with it, as seemed to be the night for the guy. And then with the last kick of the game, Morris has another opportunity and tries to curl it into that like far post, nowhere really near comfortable for the keeper. And that was right last kick of the game, ends 2-0 on the night, 4-0 in aggregate, and City are clean through to the quarterfinal draw on Friday. Was there anything else in the second half that you guys want to talk about that we haven't really brought up, or anything particularly mentioned, starting off with Andy?
I'm not sure about Sergio when he came on. I'll be honest. I thought he was all right. A little bit. I was surprised he brought Sterling on when he did. Raz, I thought tonight, and I'm a massive, massive Raz fan. You know that. I just thought tonight it was a token gesture, and I'm not sure whether it benefited him tonight. It was almost like if the pre-match press conference, the likes of Sam Lee and Simon Stones and others didn't raise the issue that was all over Twitter, which I'm sure people have seen was a massive big furore over Man City accounts. Nothing to do with us, mcfcfantv, but some of the YouTube channels and Twitter accounts had been claiming there was a big, massive fallout between Pep and Raheem, which was then later denied. And then Raz had to post on social media because of that there was nothing, absolutely nothing. Tonight, it seemed like it was a token gesture, and I really felt like Pep wasn't even considering to put Raz on tonight. Resting him, giving him a few... Listen, this kid has literally run his socks off for Manchester City for 3-4 years. Never injured, plays every game. But tonight, it felt like it was almost like a token gesture for me. Pep coming on because of the questions by the media and what was driven by social media, by certain accounts. I don't think he really was even bothered about bringing Raz on tonight, but he had to because of everything that had happened. And I think that's unfair. I think that's unfair on Raheem Sterling because the guy deserves a rest. Everyone else has had a rest in this team. No more so than bloody Sergio Aguero. Yeah, he gets lauded left, right, centre, and he is a legend. But this kid has run his socks off for Man City, and he deserves a few games rest. With still 4 competitions we're in, still the end of the Premier League, still the FA Cup, still the Carabao Cup, still the next round of the Champions League. But tonight, it felt like he had to bring him on just to shut up the press and the media and the social media. And I think, I find it, yeah, I don't know.
For me, I'll come at it from a different angle because I'm not obviously well informed. I don't know anyone inside the club or have any sort of inside links more than anybody else, anyone watching. But from my understanding of what happened with the Sterling situation is someone claimed to be in the know on a Reddit post on a Man City Reddit. A D tier journalist, like a tier 4, tier 5 journo, picked it up. Not fan accounts, but people like on Twitter took the information from the journalist, reposted that, and then obviously it's prompted Sterling to go, what the hell? Put something up. So from that side of it, that's my understanding of that, be it correct or not. That's just the understanding that I have. And the thing about the substitution in terms of a token gesture, I think it's just the fact that we have 5 substitution, and the substitution for Sterling allowed Foden to play inside, which was probably the only other option could have been Torres, right? You could have brought on to let Foden come on the inside. So if it was a question of he made the substitution to allow Foden play centrally, or whether it was, like you say, just to stuck him out to shut media up. But I don't know. I don't know if I wholeheartedly think it was a token gesture or not. I'm not really sure on that one.
Well, he brought him on with 20 minutes to go.
Yeah. To give, from my understanding, it was to allow Foden to come inside from a tactical point of view. But there could be other sides of it.
You just said there was Torres who he could have brought on.
You're right. There was other options.
There was Gabriel Jesus he could have brought on.
You're right.
People have not had as much game time as Raz.
Like I said, you may be well correct with that, but I said that wasn't when it happened. That wasn't my thought when it happened. But obviously, given the information you've obviously spoken about, it makes more sense when you think about it in that regard. But as I said, I'm talking more from when it happened itself. But I don't know what your thoughts on it are, Chris.
I don't think Pep. I'll be honest with you. I don't think Pep did it purely because of the social media thing. And
no, of course not. I don't know. He wouldn't. Shout people up on Twitter. That's ridiculous.
Of course he wouldn't. I just felt, with everything that's gone on over the last 48 hours, I think, it makes me disappointed. Let's put it that way. It makes me disappointed with some certain City fans and things like that. I just find it just baffles me sometimes.
Like I said, though, it's obviously a topic of discussion because it's been brought up by multiple people. So it's not like it's just baseless. Even if it is baseless, it is creating enough of a stir for Sterling himself to make a post. So I obviously feel it relevant to talk about. I don't know what your thoughts are on the whole situation itself, Chris, or if there's anything you want to add to that in particular.
On the Twitter stuff, I've got nothing to say about it.
Yeah, for me, I'm not on it, so I don't know that.
It's just ridiculous stuff. But I don't know about you two, but like I said at the beginning of the stream, I think this was our best 11 in Form 11 at the minute. I think that's why Raz didn't start. And Pep's been able to rest players in this game, in the previous game. I think he's just managing the squad, like you say as well. There, Kurt. He gave Foden some minutes in the centre of the pitches where Foden should end up playing his football, I thought. So gave him some time there. I'm not sure really what to say in terms of Raz's performance. He didn't really get into the game. He didn't get into the game at all. The one thing I will say about Sergio, is that it looked like he might have hobbled off at the end.
I thought that. That's what I thought.
To be fair, the last minute I was typing away, so I didn't see it. I didn't see it right at the final whistle. So
I thought he was limping.
Yeah, I don't know whether, because Sergio sometimes does walk like that, doesn't he? But I'm not sure because he went straight to the medical guy, so I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I don't like the sound of that, mate.
That's what I thought. I thought he was limping, but like you said, he does that anyway, doesn't he?
Yeah, it could be.
You don't know whether he's fit or anything.
Yeah, exactly. Reading into something.
He might have been going. Actually, yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually all right. I've got 20 minutes under my belt. I'm all right.
He might have just gone, have you got any bottoms, mate? It's freezing out here. I don't know how Budapest is this time of year.
I have no idea. No, it should be nice though.
Probably, actually, to be fair, it probably is, isn't it? But like we've said, the second half sort of petered out. We got the subs on. We made the subs. We sort of bagged home a nice, comfortable, as comfortable as we're going to get as City fans in the Champions League, I think, in a knockout round, because I don't think I was particularly worried at any point over the two legs about Gladbach. I told you guys before we even drew them that I wanted Gladbach. I thought they were the perfect team for us to play in Europe, and it proved out they are. It turned out to be right. Onwards and upwards. I'll just go through the match stats for anyone interested for tonight. It was 68% possession to City to Gladbach's 32%, 10 shots to their 6. 6 on target for us to their 3, 7 corners for us to their 2, and 4 fouls to their 8. So, by all metrics, we were very comfortable and never really looked under threat. As far as going on to the next stage, obviously the draws on Friday. Quite a lot of the teams are pretty much already. Oh, that Ronnie, it's true. Going through, obviously on Friday we've got the draw, and we'll know more when the draw comes out. But just as a little look towards it, is there any team that you really don't want to face in the next round? Just as a personal interest question for myself, starting with Andy.
Bayern.
I think we're going to have a roundhouse on this one, but I don't know.
I don't want Bayern. I mean, Bayern are the ones that
take them in the final, not in the quarters.
On an off day, they can be shit, but on the whole, they're a bloody good team and can score a shitload of goals. And we'd have to be. We are clean sheet FC, but we are going to have to be extremely, extremely on the ball. And I noticed somebody has said thought Walker was shit tonight. I thought he was.
I know someone mentioned that, Ender, but I didn't think he had a bad game at all. I don't know what you want to mention.
I thought it was good tonight, but we're going to have to be very, very defensively sound if we do draw Bayern. I think other teams will probably get away with high-scoring games. Bayern are the one for me that I think if we get them, we're going to have to be super solid. And to be fair, the one thing going into this season, the way that we've been so far, when we've had Delicious as our back two, and then Walker and Cancelo or whoever, I'm confident we can nullify them. Because if a team can score against us, it'll be Bayern. And they can sit back and hit us on the break, and they can also play us at our own game. And that's my one worry about Bayern. They can switch tactics, where you tend to know what most teams will do. And I think Bayern are one of the teams that can do both. But it'd be great to get them in the quarters, semis, wherever we get them, and knock them out. But I do think Bayern are the ones we have to fear.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. If I want Bayern, I'd want them in the final, if anything. It's a really interesting one. But in regards to, I can't say what our best 11 is, but I think it's quite evident what our best back five is in terms of going forward in Europe. And we saw the best back five for me tonight. And I in regards to the Walker comments, I thought Walker had not a great game, but a good game. Better than average for me personally. Right. Yeah, but obviously about the next round, who you don't want to face. I don't know if you're in agreement with me and Andy, and if it's Bayern or if it's someone else for you, Chris.
Yeah, obviously it's Bayern. This is what makes me laugh about this quad business and how we're favourites to do a quad with Bayern Munich.
With Bayern Munich knocking about.
Remain in the Champions League, and Real Madrid. It might not be the Real Madrid of the Ronaldo era, but they're still a good team, and they get some very nice decisions in the Champions League as well. So, I wouldn't want them either. PSG have got some great players. Mbappe, for me, is probably the best player in the world. And he's surrounded by very good talent around him. So, yeah, there's some great teams in there. Liverpool wouldn't be easy. Chelsea certainly wouldn't be easy. This is the latter stage of the Champions League, and this is what makes me laugh about people saying, "Oh, you've not won the Champions League." Ain't that easy? It's a cup competition.
Well, you only have to
really good teams.
You've hit the nail on the head there. When you're talking about the next round, you've got Liverpool, you've got Bayern, you've got PSG, you've got Real Madrid. It's not like a walk in the park. And Liverpool were superb when they won their Champions League. Absolutely amazing. But you only have to see what happened to Liverpool last season against Atletico Madrid. These are good teams, and in a cup competition, and that's the thing. It's a cup knockout competition. It's not over 20, 30 games. It can be problems with the team. It can be a bad refereeing decision. It can be whatever. That's the problem with the Champions League. It is a dodgy competition, but there are good teams in this competition left.
I just want to bring up. Sorry, I was going to bring up this comment because I just thought it was absolutely hilarious. John Walters saying, in the words of Apollo Creed, "I want you, Bayern."
R.I.P.
If there's any Rocky fans out there, I'm sure they enjoy that one. Sorry, Chris, to cut you off.
Yeah, but you do know what happened to Apollo Creed, don't you? With Ivan Drago.
Yeah, but some people don't count the fourth movie, you know?
He was absolutely
the fourth's the last one, isn't it?
Yeah. Definitely don't count the fifth. That's for sure. But yeah, sorry, I was cutting off your point. You were mentioning about Martin Keown there, Chris.
Oh, yeah. No. He made a comment that they were supposed to be doing the treble in, I think, did he say 2006? 2004.
2004.
And he said in the space of the week they got knocked out of the Champions League and the FA Cup, and they were a great football team, that Arsenal team.
He said in 1 week as well.
Yeah,
in 1 week.
It was within 1 week, wasn't it?
Yeah, and you kind of think to yourself, like, this is what really pees me off about. You know, we're going to win this, we're going to win everything. Or we're made out that, you know, this is City can do the quadruple. It's never been done before. There's a reason for that, you know. If we were to do it, it would be probably the biggest achievement ever done in football. So, you know, I think it's just build City up for the press to knock us down. You know,
until we're in the final, mate. It's until we're in that, and when we're in the final, then we can dream. When we're in the finals of these competitions, then we can dream. Until then, it's just a fairy tale.
Yeah.
That's how I
fans putting here. Is Dortmund? See, Dortmund have obviously got Haaland. They've got some very good young players, but they don't. I'm not really fearful of Dortmund.
They're having a very poor season. They'll be lucky to get Champions League football next season. The way they're going, they're a very poor season by Dortmund standard. But obviously, that was just. Do
you want to see Kevin De Bruyne's tweet?
Why not, mate? Might as well. Always love to hear from the big man himself.
Yeah, let me.
I like how quickly he gave.
I'll put it up there. There you go.
He's not wrong. He says next round is on the way, and he's got him pointing where he's sticking the free kick, I believe.
Next round is that way.
That's very Babe Ruth, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
There you go. That's Kevin for you. He knows what's coming.
In regards, the Champions League's just, we've all said it many times, it's one of those. I'm very happy to be in the hat for the next round, and we're going to find out on Friday who we've got. I thought, as I said, quite a few players had a good game. I'm just going to go into sort of what you and Chris's 3 or 4, maybe 5 standout players were for tonight. Sort of get a short list for tomorrow's I believe it's tomorrow's what is it called? Player ratings. For the player ratings, we can sort of get an idea of who the idea. Not man of the matches, just standout players for tonight. 2 or 3 of them. Any more. Starting off with you, Andy.
Right, well, there's only one player for me. I'm going to read out his stats. 2014-15, 44 goals and assists combined. 2015-16, 32 goals and assists combined. 2016-17, 28 goals and assists combined. 2017-18, 33 goals and assists. 2018-19, 17 goals, but bear in mind he missed 5 months. 2019-20, 39 goals and assists, and so far this season, 22 goals and assists, and that is the most consistent midfielder in world football, and that is Kevin De Bruyne. Say no more.
It's just facts, isn't it? As Rafa Benitez once said.
Facts.
Just facts. Chris, for yourself, I don't know if you obviously Kevin. We can all absolutely agree that Kevin De Bruyne was outstanding tonight. But was there any other players for you that were real standouts?
I thought Ederson had a fantastic game. I thought John Stones again was immense.
I agree.
And I would also put Gundogan as well. I thought Gundogan had a good game. And they were my 4 players who I thought were really, really good tonight.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, and for me, who did I write down? Let me go at the list so I'm not telling lies. I had KDB first, Stones second, Foden, and then I had Cancelo as a special mention because I thought he had quite a good first half, apart from a really bad first 15 minutes. But the second part of that first half, I thought he really good. Caveated. Like I said, a portion of the game, I thought he played really well, and I really enjoyed it. But
that 15 minutes.
Yeah, when he was playing the in the area position.
I'm only joking. I'm only joking. It's only for Tom. It's only for Tom.
What I thought was interesting is he basically played like 3 different positions tonight.
It
wasn't just 5 minutes that you can cause it for rotation. It was actual fixed position. And I think when he went into that fixed position left back problem, that's where we saw a lot of the problems from him come. But when he was playing in his more natural sort of inside role, I thought he was fantastic. But yeah,
just give me. Sorry, Kurt, I know you're running this vlog.
No problem, mate.
Can you just have a quick chat about this guy? Because
Bernardo Silva.
I think he's been overlooked in our recent chats by me and other people that have done the vlogs and everything else. Any chance we can just have 2 minutes talking about this fella?
Of course we can. Of course we can. We can do it right now, mate.
Right, okay.
I got something for you. I think when I remember me and you, we were talking about when we were having the discussion about contributions in terms of goals and assists, and Bernardo Silva's numbers were quite low. Anyone who watches the game knows he's playing a lot deeper most of the time. Is why he's got lower contributions, but the consistency in his work rate and his ability to understand where he needs to be on the pitch at what time based on the players around him, I think is probably one of his biggest assets outside of his technical ability, which we all know is absolutely superb. Just his, what you'd call it, is football intelligence, right? Knowing where to be in relation to the players around him, in relation to the space, in relation to the ball, in relation to the part of the game and the time of the game. And I think he's probably one of our most consistent players in doing that. In the same way I heaped lots of praise onto Riyad Mahrez for his movement recently, I think equally you make the very fair point that I should have had it written down, but I was just more focused on the specifics of the game. But as a general thing of the recent sort of 5 or 6 weeks, and even more so before that, because even when the team's performing poorly, he does these things. He may not have the best on the ball performances, but I can't think of a game where he had a bad off the ball performance ever in a City shirt. I can't think of one. Maybe just
I only brought that up because I don't think
same for me, mate. And I think it's
I don't think I've given him the credit I think he deserves the last 3-4 games.
There's about 22 players in our squad that deserve a lot of credit, and it's just there's so many of them. But for sure, Bernardo has been absolutely class, and I don't know what our best 11 is, but I know Bernardo Silva is in it for me. I wouldn't know if I had to write down you on paper what I'd be, but I know where I'd be starting. Would be the back 5, and Bernardo would probably be the ones that I'd stick in there quite quickly.
Well, here's one for you. Pep now has 100+ goals every season he has managed since 2008.
Checkbook manager, mate. He bought them. He bought that. Every goal was paid for by a check.
It's quite frightening.
Oil money.
Absolutely frightening. Yeah. What are your thoughts, Chris, on Bernardo? I'm talking about not tonight, but his latest performances and.
Bernardo Silva plays well. Manchester City play well. He's a little. He's an engine. He just goes all game. He's intelligent. He links up well with nearly everybody in that team. That was when they get some more mixer from a whiskey. But, it was. I just think he's a wonderful footballer. I think this season we've seen him gradually get back to the Bernardo of the season before last. He is a fantastic footballer. There's no two ways about it. I love it. And like Kurt says, he's in our best 11. No matter where you play him, he probably does go unnoticed. And it's something Martin Keown said tonight as well. And I'm going to say this about the commentary tonight as well. There was none of this 50 million for him and 60 million for this player.
Keown's quite good, though, normally.
Yeah, but so whoever was commentating with him, there was none of the Ian Dark crap of, the backline cost is a 700 million on the bench shite. It was this proper talking about what was happening on the football pitch and how well people were playing. But yeah, Keown said that he feels that Bernardo Silva is an underrated player in our team and in our system, and I completely agree. I don't think he's underrated.
I think he is.
Do you think he's underrated by City fans?
No, I don't think he's underrated by City fans. I do think that he's been average for the last 12, 14 months.
Yep.
Now getting back into form. I mean, I love Bernardo Silva. I absolutely love him. Love him to bits. But I'm trying to be objective with it. And I do think the last 12, 14 months he's been distinctly average. But the last few games, you can see now, the last 4 or 5 games, he's getting back to where he was 12 months ago, or prior to that.
And it was Darren Fletcher on.
I think he's a wonderful, wonderful player, and we saw it tonight. You know, if we can get him back to where he was when he won the, Player of the Year for City season before last, what an amazing player! And I know there was a lot of off-field stuff with him, and I don't care. I just want him back to where he was and where he is now is phenomenal player. Absolutely phenomenal.
Let's probably face the facts as probably the reality it was, is the situation with Mendy clearly massively
massive.
And it's over this last season that he's got over it in a sense, or at least seems to me. I don't know him personally, I don't have any information like anybody else, but just from an outside perspective, I can only assume if you have to start questioning your own character and having to have inward looks.
And who did that? The fucking idiot.
But this is one of those things. I'm not getting into the situation itself, just the effects of the situation. And obviously, I think it's clear that everyone in our club, in terms of the backroom staff, the players, everyone supports each other.
Love it.
It's clear through Stones. It's clear even through Mendy's injuries. Everyone loves everyone in the squad. I'm sure there are players that they don't get the Christmas card invites and stuff. But in terms of a collectiveness of our squad, it's massive. And I think Bernardo's a big key to that. Big key to that. And I think there's 4 or 5 players that are big keys to that. And I think you're completely right in bringing that up, Andy, because we have got to heap praise onto the people that deserve it, and we haven't really given enough praise to Bernardo for what he's done in recent times.
I agree.
Obviously, we've not been negative towards Bernardo, but not shined enough light on him, I think, is probably the best way to put it. And tonight, like I said, it's just Scott Williams made the comment here. I'll just read. I brought it up earlier, but I'll read it out again. He said it before. Bubblegum gives 120% in all 3/3 of the pitch, always looking around to see if he needs to cover or go forward. Essentially, Pep's strongest lineup on current form, and that's just very succinctly and very well put of what I'm trying to say without babbling on, Scott, mate. So very, very, very well thought out comment. I completely agree with you there, mate. Yep. I completely agree with you.
I agree.
I think he's a bit like Fernandinho. I think City fans know exactly what he and Ferner do on the pitch. And because they're not a David Silva or Sergio, Kevin De Bruyne, Riyad Mahrez, they don't get the plaudits that they do deserve, definitely. And that goes for a lot of players as well. I think Kyle Walker gets a rough ride sometimes. And then with Stones and for me, Stones and Diaz are playing well, but Laporte's played really well when he's played as well.
Yeah, yes.
What kind of bugs me a little bit at the minute, I see it a lot on Twitter, is that he shouldn't be playing and he shouldn't be playing. He's better than he is. We've got a fantastic squad of players. There's about 20 players in our squad who all deserve a good run in the team, but Pep can't do that to keep everyone happy, and support all the players.
Yeah, but we all do it to a degree. I think it's just because it's Twitter and it's online and it's written down. But we'll sit in pubs or sit with our friends and go, "Oh no, he should have started. He should have started." It's just one of those things, mate.
We do it on here. We do it on here because
I'm not going to hold people on Twitter who say started too badly, because I do the same. So that would just be incorrect for me to.
We do that on here, don't we? On the Friday Night Social, we go on about what the team should be, what the score's going to be.
Speculative.
Post-match stuff. We do all of that. One thing we don't do is go full-on nonsense and speculating with rumours on this channel. It's not one thing we do. We talk about what we've read, what we've seen, what we've heard. we don't speculate and start making up rumours and things like that on here. We just talk about what we've seen and what our opinions are on a player's performance, and we can all disagree, and everyone on here can disagree, and that's fine. That's all we do, but we don't speculate and make rumours up.
Yeah, like I say, it's all about just being clear. If you're trying to make a point and it's coming from somewhere where it might not be factual, you just, as long as, like I said before, I'm only saying from my understanding, and you just make yourself very clear, and that helps clear up.
Everyone has their favourite players.
Of course, mate. Of course about it.
And players
like me, I love Zinchenko, but a lot of the time I stick him out the lineup.
Yeah, absolutely.
11s, you know, a lot of times you look back, then he's not in there. It's just because that's just the way it goes, mate.
I think sometimes there's too much point scoring goes on. You know, if you sort of say, I didn't think Mahrez should have started in the game, and then he scores the hat trick like against Burnley. It's like, you know nothing. It's just crap, isn't it? You know, I don't want any Manchester City player to fail. Do you know what I mean? I want them to go out there and put in a 10 out of 10 performance every time they play.
I am going to turn around and say, for the first time ever, I got 10 out of the 11 on the Friday Night Social for the lineup. 10 out of 11.
I got 10 out of 11 a couple of weeks ago.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah, did you get the formation right, Andy?
No, didn't I? But I got 10 out of the 11. I can't believe it.
Very good. That's very good.
That's the greatest prediction I've ever done on a pet lineup ever.
I got 11 out of 11 once. It was a cup final against Arsenal, and
never
one where we got 3-0. It was the only time I ever got one right, and I hang that thing up like a trophy, like I'm some amazing person, because I predicted 1 out of like 400 games right or something, you know.
Never, ever, ever have I predicted a pet lineup.
Joseph beat you congratulating, saying, "Get in there, Andy."
No, it was only 10, mate. I didn't get the 11.
It's close enough, mate. 10's basically 11 when it comes to Pep. Hello, Blue Moon. Hope you're good, mate. Yeah, it was just a fantastic win. There was a lot of positives. We could have scored more goals. Morris could have been more clinical, you know. But at the end of the day, 4-0 on aggregate, comfortable with both legs, in a knockout tie in the Champions League. I don't care who we're playing. We will take those because they don't come around too often for us. Normally, even if we get through, it's a nail-biting affair or a very emotional exit, as it seems to be in this stage. And we've got through this last 16, which has been a bit of a hump for us for a little while. We're through to the next.
Been comfortable this round, hasn't it? Really, if we're honest, 2-0, 2-0. Never ever looked like we were going to lose the first leg. Never looked like we're going to lose tonight. It's been a comfortable round, and players getting rested, rotated, bodes well.
Yeah, and just before we get off, Andy's asked a question of, I know I asked earlier who didn't want, but who do you really fancy in the last 8? Is there any teams you say, you know what, we'll take those before we wrap up the show for tonight? Starting with you, Andy. Sorry.
Well, I said it. Bayern. Who do you want?
Yes, I asked earlier who you didn't want, but Andy asked the question, who do you fancy? Who would you like? Is there any particular team, just before we go on?
I was just bringing this up by Ghost of Grace. You didn't say garbage tonight. I don't care because they're all garbage. Absolutely.
What you should have said was that touch from Sommer where it almost went under his foot was pretty garbage.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Who's in? I've not seen.
Obviously, there's still tomorrow's games as well. It looks like Bayern Munich are going through, and then it's Chelsea, Atletico on the other side of that. For me, I don't care as long as it's not English.
Yeah, I'll take Chelsea, but that's not going to happen, is it? So I don't think we can't get Chelsea.
Yeah, you can.
What, in the next round?
Yes. Yeah, after the round of 16.
We can. Yeah.
After the round of 16, you can draw anyone, yeah.
Who's left?
Porto.
We don't know.
Porto, Borussia Dortmund. Bayern Munich are most likely going through.
I don't want them.
Chelsea, Atletico, like I said. PSG, Real Madrid.
I don't want any of them either.
As long as it's not English, I'm happy. That's all I've got to say on the matter.
I'll take Porto or Chelsea, but I don't know what's going to happen with the
Stevens thinking
ones.
It's definitely going to be Liverpool. Maybe we'll see you right on that on Friday. What about you, Chris? Anyone in particular you fancy, or is it just like me, not English?
No, mate.
And that's the list.
Listen, you've got to beat whoever's put in front of you at the end.
Same for me, mate. I just don't want to lose to an English side.
I don't know.
Well, I know.
English side. That's all for me.
But I'll take Porto or Chelsea every day of the week.
You take them. As long as it's not English, that's for me. I just don't want to play an English side in Europe.
Well, Chelsea are English.
I don't want them.
I think Porto are probably the standout one. I think Dortmund maybe as well. But I don't really fear Liverpool at the minute. I don't fear Chelsea either. So I just want to avoid Real Madrid or Bayern Munich. That's the two I want to avoid. But we'll probably get one of them.
Yeah, and obviously we're going to find out on Friday, and we'll have some reactions to that when that comes out, and we'll speak about that more then. Before we wrap up tonight, I don't know if you guys have got any more final thoughts or anything that I've not brought up or I forgot to mention that you guys.
What time is the draw on Friday? I might do a live vlog for that.
It's usually early, isn't it? It's usually about
11.
I don't know if they do Europa first or Champions League first. Yeah. They'll do one and then the other. You should probably
might do a live one for that. So.
Yeah, I'll let you know if I'm around and that. I'll jump on and get a little reaction to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's usually early afternoon. It's live on BT Sports and on their YouTube and stuff anyway, so it's up in loads of places. Charlie Everett's saying it's 11 a.m. But yeah, I don't know if that's the Europa League one.
That's the start, yeah.
Yeah, and it's never going to... The draw's going to be like an hour. They sit there talking about awards and waffling on for a wee while, don't they? Get their suits on and that.
We did the last one. I think it was about 11:45 by the time they drew that round, the next group. So yeah, but we'll maybe be live. So tune in for that.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else I forgot you want to mention or talk about, Chris, before we get off tonight.
No, not really. I didn't anything to say. Well done to the EDS for yesterday's performance. Beating Southampton 7-1. Yeah.
Question. I've got a question. No, Chris is on. I've heard it all over social media.
Don't.
Have we been back the same question, Chris?
You know what I'm coming at.
Yeah.
Liam Delap. Should he be in the City squad? Should he be starting ahead of Gabby Jesus and Sergio Aguero because he scored some goals, hat-trick in the EDS? Go on. Give me your thoughts on the Liam Delap, because everyone now, I mean, looked at the social media accounts. They are who they are, but go on.
No, let Liam Delap stay in that ADS team for the rest of the season. Obviously, let him carry on learning his trade. He's definitely got a great eye for goal, Andy. I do question whether he's a pet player. And I do question his temperament as well, right? But he certainly knows he will be playing football at a high level when he progresses.
What's a high level to you?
I think he could play.
He'll play Champions League football.
I'm not going to even go that far. I think high level football is professional football in probably the first two divisions in England. There's not that much difference in terms of margins. His percentage, he's an extremely good footballer. Don't get me. Oh, sorry, extremely good goal scorer. There's players in that team that stand out for me probably more than Liam Delap does, and they're so young. That's the thing, This kid's he will be a good footballer. He will score goals wherever he goes. But if he's good enough to make Champions League football, he's certainly not ready yet.
Not ready yet. I've got a fair few points to make on this, because I've been batting probably the same questions that Chris has maybe been asked about Delap, and I may be quite rude in making this point.
We have to make the point that Chris watches the EDS.
Yeah, me and Chris, we both watch EDS.
Yeah, I don't. So I don't have. I'll watch whenever I can. So that's why I'm asking Chris, because I know he watches all of the games.
I may be in trouble of saying something that might upset people, but it's my opinion, so I'm just going to say it. I think a lot of the people that are calling for Delap watch 2-minute highlight videos of the EDS and don't watch a single game. I'm just going to be honest and say it. That's my view. I really think they don't have a clue what they're talking about.
Oh, they see the score sheet.
No, they don't even. They might, like I said, they might not even see the 2-minute highlights, mate. Yeah. You know, it's because it's been put out on the main YouTube channel for the first time in ages because it was a big win and everyone's gone balmy over it. And it really bothers me because, like I said, if you're interested in the youth stuff, it's not hard to get hold of the youth games. You know, it's not. It's a couple quid. You know, mm-hmm. It's you can watch it anytime, replay anytime. Like, it's not that big a deal. So but like Chris said, I think there's 4, 5, maybe 6 players that I'd have ahead of him in terms of development and actually right now. And you've got to also mention the other thing, which people don't talk about in terms of his goal record, is the only other team in terms of the EDS level teams in the Premier League, so the Premier League 2, right, that have create anywhere near the amount of chances our lot do is Chelsea. Our sides are far and beyond the best. Like, it's not, for me, it's not really close. There's a few other decent teams, but in terms of how many chances do we create every game, Chris?
I think yes, you're right. But I think at youth level, you're right, it's between Chelsea and City. But at EDS level, Blackburn are a good team. Man United have got a good team as well.
They got good sides. But what I'm saying is, there's how many other sides at EDS level are creating the amount of chances we are per game? Create a lot of chances.
No, it's very similar football to what City play, and in the senior squad, that's the truth, mate. That's what they're trying to emulate. For me, you know, James McAtee. He's not ready, but that lad is a cultured footballer, and I've got real great hopes of him.
Yeah.
But this is 60. Yeah, Cole Palmer's a great player. For me, the player this season who's come in at this sort of run that we've had of wins and has taken us up to the top of the league, and probably might win us the league as well, is a central defensive midfielder called Romeo Lavia. I think he's 16. EDS is up to 23. This lad's 16. This lad, when he first came, the first game I saw him come on and play, it's like, But as that game went on, he looked better and better and better. And every game I've seen since, I'm really impressed with him.
I remember.
He really reminds me of Kante, you know.
We had a conversation about. Remember on one of the posts after we got off, we were chin wagging, and you mentioned that because I didn't watch that particular game, and ever since then I've kept an eye on him, and the performances are just that. Our EDS squad is outstanding. There's a lot of players that deserve a lot of credit. Just because Delap's scoring goals and numbers are really high, he's getting the why nots. But like Chris said, his first year in EDS, he was playing under 18s before that. You know. There's steps to this progression.
Callum Doyle looks a good player. I'm not going to say he's going to make it at City, but he looks a decent centre back.
Good centre back.
There are some really good players in that side. It's scary, you know. Really is. There's a couple of players like Claudio Gomez, who I don't think is going to make it. I don't think Felix.
No, I don't think so either.
Nemecha is going to make it. He looks a little bit like the big kid. You know,
he was 3 good when he was with the kids younger than him, but when he plays with the big boys, there's a few players like that in the EDS.
Cole Palmer, Tommy Doyle, they've got the chance, but they still need to raise the game a bit. But yeah, we are in such rude health in the EDS level. It's frightening. Really good, and well done to them because they're so professional about how they perform week in, week out.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Listen, I have to bring this up because it's our usual. Scott Williams, Top Stuff Blues disappointed. No mention of Oscar Bob. Take care, folks. Oscar Bob, we've been calling Oscar Bob for the last 12, 14 months.
Oscar's he's more of a youth player than he is East EDS. He didn't get many minutes in EDS.
Oscar Bob.
He's doing well.
The best name ever. The best name ever, Oscar Bob.
The problem with our EDS, it's not particularly a problem, is we've got a lot of very young players in our EDS that by age group shouldn't even be playing at that level. So they're going to need to, because people think, it's under 23s. Most of them are like 19, but they're really not. Most of them are not that, you know. So, but yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff to do with the EDS. If anyone enjoys watching that stuff, it's really worth the while. The team plays football, and it's
maybe we can do a vlog maybe next week or something, sometime where we just talk about the U team. Chris, obviously, you watch a lot. Kurt, you watch a lot. I must admit, I only catch the odd game here and there. So you guys know a lot more about how these players are progressing. But maybe we do a vlog all about the U team and see what people, because clearly there are people on here who watch it. Well, maybe that's something we'll do.
For £2 a month, you can watch nearly every City.
I've got it. But
Chris was asking if it was it's available in Australia. I'm really not aware if it's available in other countries outside
I can't
the UK, mate. I don't see why it wouldn't be, because it's a website.
It
should be an issue about Christian. If you just go on the website, you should have all the information on there. They wouldn't bill you if you weren't able to. If you weren't able to do the content,
you should be able to get it. You should be able to.
The one thing I would say about it is, if you love your football and you love, watching good football, it is really good football to watch. It's not like watching a bunch of kids running around, like 22 lads running into the corner of a pitch to chase a ball. This is proper good football, and a City plays, and possible future City plays. It really is worth watching.
What we need to do, Chris, is we need to go through, not go through every player, but just show to some of the guys. All these EDS guys are playing at their national level, not maybe the senior level, but their under 17s, under 19s, under 21s level. These guys, it's like when Garcia was captain of the under 21s at the Euros. And he was playing in our EDS. There's some incredibly talented players down there, and it's if you, like Chris said, if you enjoy that stuff, it's well worth the couple quid it costs.
Yeah, it really is. And the only other thing that I was left to say that, other than that, was good luck to AC Milan tomorrow.
Hey, happy days. There you go, the super chat from Alan. How you doing, buddy? In Tassie, EDS is a money-making machine to help us with FFP. I think it's always been that. But if we can get one or two of them through, mate, that saves us 80 million, 100 million, who knows. But anyway, Kurt.
And I think that's pretty. Sorry, have you got something there, Chris?
No, Charlie's just corrected me. Charlie's too quick, All right, Thursday. It's nearly Wednesday, Charlie. Do me.
Yeah. But I know we ran on a little bit longer with the EDF stuff, but I thought it was well worth the mention, because they did have an absolutely fantastic result. He's back in Melbourne now. Yeah. Okay, welcome back home, mate. Nice and safe. But it was an absolutely fantastic result tonight. 2-0 on the night, 4-0 on aggregate. Boys went through, did the job. Really can't ask for much more, and we keep marching on. And next game's obviously going to be that big cup game, and then we've got, I think it's international after that, right? Yeah. And then reset, and then it's absolute business time after that. Thanks for everyone who's come on tonight and joined us in the comments, and for this post-match. Thanks for Andy and Chris for giving their time to come on and obviously chat about the game. So thanks, Andy, for that, mate.
You're more than welcome, buddy. Thank you very much for the post-chat. Guys, don't forget, whatever you do, tune in for Friday night, the Friday Night Social. It's going to be a lunatic one. Looking at Chris's email with guests that are coming on, I don't know how we're going to do it, but it's going to be mental. But one thing I do want to say is you better tune in very quick on Friday night, because the Friday Night Social is going to be on the Patreon. So when the Patreon comes live next week, it's going live next week. Friday Night Social from then on will be on Patreon. So you need to be a Patreon subscriber to watch it. So keep a lookout for that. This week is going to be a bumper 1 year anniversary one. So I'll leave it over to Chris, because Chris is the only one who knows who's coming on and who's not.
Some proper bell ends, Andy. Some proper bell ends.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I saw the email and I was like, "Oh my god, how are we going to work this one out?"
Oh, that's
Yeah, I'm
that's
excited
YouTube.
for it.
I'll organise the chaos. Oh,
Organised chaos. There you go.
yeah.
But then, as I said, thanks again for coming on, Chris. It's always a pleasure to do these.
Yeah, lovely, mate. As who's just is Kyle Doggo just said it's St. Patrick's Day tomorrow, so isn't it silly to have a drink?
Yes, it is.
So I might have the odd drink tomorrow to celebrate with my Irish brethren. Love St. Patrick's Day.
Absolutely.
Love the Irish as well. Good bunch of people.
You're a Celtic fan, though, aren't you?
Yeah, but
Ireland's beautiful. Ireland's just such a laid-back country.
Never been.
People are wonderful. Oh, go, Kyle!
I've never been.
Beautiful.
I know it's not too bad. Cherry over there, nice and easy.
I went over with a friend of mine who lives in Cork, in the county of Cork, and we met his cousin. And he'd had a really bad car crash, and I think he got 75 grand compensation. And we met him in the pub, and I'm sure his name was Niall. And I said to Niall, "So, what are you doing for work?" He goes, "Oh, I'm not working at the minute." He says, "So when are you going back to work?" He goes, "When the money's run out, I'm just going to piss it up." So he's just going on the lash, 75 grand on the lash, and then he's going back to work. I thought, what a great attitude to life. Great people.
But yeah, we got Chris coming on as we're leaving. Hello, mate, and goodbye at the same time. You'll have to watch this one back. But yeah, it's been a really enjoyable one. I know we ran over a little bit, guys. Obviously, talking about a few of the other topics, but more information and everything else will come out when the Patreon comes out. I'm sure Andy will do a whole video on that, so all the questions and things like that can be sorted out when that gets.
It'll be live next week.
So yeah, everything will be out. We'll make sure all the information's out there for you guys. But back to these boys coming on. Great victory for the Blues. Keep going forward. Thanks for everyone to join us in the comments, and we'll catch you on the next one. And as always, up the Blues. Take care, guys.